author was actually then using that email that, so let's say that there is a scenario where, let's say, for example, your company is talking to secure service, for example. Okay. And now let's say one of the employee, let's say my laptop got infected with emotet malware, for example. Okay. So the top email that I have got from your company, let's say was expelled to the attacker, for example. Okay, was expelled to that. So what the attacker will do is that the attacker will actually write a spoof email, okay, saying that the from address is my address, okay, okay, and it will fill it like this, and then from address is my address, and then it will utilize that same attachment, the same email, and it will reply on top of that, okay, on the same email that it expelled, on top of that. So what will happen is that the time it reaches out to your company, maybe the employee of one of your company might get tricked into believing that, okay, this communication was you were already having with the secure servers, so might be this is a valid email ID. Okay, because if the attacker actually send you an email saying that, okay, you have won a lottery, and you need to come to Africa to collect the lottery amount. So thing is that in thousands employees, maybe only one employee got tricked into that. Okay, but if the attacker utilizes this way of attack, so maybe in 10,000 employees, at least 900 employees will get tricked, believing that the email is coming from secure servers. Okay, so that was the strength of emotet malware. So this was actually creating a lot of issues for us, because we were seeing a lot of incidents, almost like in 3 months we saw almost like, let's say, 10 incidents of emotet malware. Okay, now the thing is that that's why it was very much important for us. So what happened was that the proof point actually detected emotet malware over email, and our discussion was that we were not able to get the sample. So what we did was that we got the link, the malicious link by which the malware would come in. And what we did was that we did certain analysis of the malware. Okay, we downloaded that malware from that link, and we did certain analysis of the malware, and we created IOCs from that. Okay, and we utilized those IOCs to figure out two things. First is, are there any attacks that happened earlier on the system which we are not aware of, maybe using the IOC? And the second is that we tuned our alert to detect emotet malware in action. Okay, so I hope this answered your question. What all things as a SOC professional we do once we receive an alert from the proof point. Is there any other clarification you need on this one?
No, sir, it is clear.
Okay, so I hope these are interesting. Now the other thing which based on this question, there's one more thing that I like to kind of share with you, that it is very, very easy.
So I have I have one more doubt. Like when, for example, if we're getting some URL that is like, we are sure that it is a malicious URL. So how do we need to create a sandbox? For example, if you want to visit that URL and download the malware from the data for analysis. So how do we do that? Do we need to create some sandbox for that, or we can directly visit that link? Because it will be risky if we directly visit that link.
Yeah. So thing is that I understand your question is specifically to this part where you have downloaded, let's say that you are downloading the malware and you wanted to know how you can download the malware safely so that it doesn't infect your own computer. I hope this question, I understood this right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so in that case, actually, thing is that is actually something which I normally discuss in the malware analysis course. It's actually a separate course that I deliver. So over there, what we do is that we utilize the Ramnex OS. Okay, Ramnex OS, the one that I showcased over here, this Ramnex OS, and how we do the analysis is that we utilize this Remnex OS. Let's say the malware was Windows-based malware. So we also set up one Windows 7 laptop. Okay, Windows 7 laptop, for example. And what we do is that how we do that is that let's say Remnex. So how we do is that we execute the malware on the Windows 7 host. Okay, and this Windows 7 host is not directly connected to internet. Okay, it's not directly connected to internet. This Windows 7 host, the whole operating system is proxied. The network traffic is proxied by the Remnex host. Okay, via the Remnex host. Okay, and then from the Remnex, maybe if you want, then where the internet comes into picture. Okay, so this is the setup of the lab mostly. So we execute the malware on the Windows 7 on the host, and what we do is we visit the lab, we visit the website, and we capture the traffic either on the Wireshark tool of the Windows 7, or we see the traffic on the Remnex of we can actually see what all traffic is going back and forth between Windows 7 and the internet. And that's where we kind of do the analysis. And let me just give you guys 1 second. Give you guys one
Sir,
second.
do you have any document where we can like set up this lab so it will be easy for us?
Okay, just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so for the lab setup part, again, I think it is a little bit off discussion, but overall the thing is that you need to kind of set up a Windows 7 malware. If you are analyzing a Windows 7 host, you need to have certain softwares in this one. Like let's say for capture of traffic, you need Wireshark, one that thing. To analyze the malware, you need certain IDA Pro software to analyze the malware like assembly code. Okay, and again, like you need the bug suit tool, the one that I have already showcased to you guys to understand, okay, what kind of like HTTP, like if the malware is doing some kind of HTTPS based communication, so you can figure out that in plain text using bug suit. You can capture the traffic using Wireshark. You can analyze the malware using IDA Pro. And then what you can also do is that, let's say you want that, okay, the other thing what we normally do is that which I also teach not in this class but in the malware class is that, let's say the malware is trying to reach out to abc.com. Okay, and it is fetching certain commands from there. Let's say it is going to abc.com and it is fetching certain commands from there. So what you can do is that you can actually, using this setup, you can actually do something in Remnex. So in Remnex there is a tool called as inetSim. Okay, inetSim. And what you can do is that when the malware will try to communicate to its own C2 server, which is abc.com, and it will try to, what you can do is that you can spoof the response of the server from abc.com using the inetSim. And let's say the malware was expecting a command from the attacker, let's say delete star, to delete the email. So you can, using inetSim, you can actually spoof the response, and the malware will think that it has actually reached out to the abc.com, and let's say the command that the malware received was exit. Okay, you will actually spoof the response that will the malware receive, and the malware will never come to know that it is actually reaching out to the actual web server or a fake web server. Okay, so this is how actually the lab is set up. You need different kind of tools to be installed in Remnex and in Windows 7. But overall thing is that you can let's say set up malware analysis lab using Windows and Remnex like this, and I think you will quickly get something over here. So I think if you just go through a few of the figures, like how to build a malware lab or build a custom malware analysis engine, thing is that you can just go through these documents, and maybe I can share that later in much more detail if time permits. But overall, the theme of that lab, if you are dealing with any kind of Windows system, it will be something like this. Okay. And so now you know like how what the